Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2569 The Ihan Clan Hard Drive 1. Zhang Yi took a deep breath, somewhat disappointed, and then slowly exhaled. That's true. The Ihan tribe doesn't even care about their lives. What more could they want? His brow furrowed and he pressed on, still unwilling to give up. So, do you have any memories of technology? A glimmer of hope flashed in his eyes, as if Ling could provide some unexpected answer. After all, Ling, as the culmination of the Ihan clan's technology, is considered an artificial human, retaining memories from a long period of time in her mind. Are any of these memories related to the technology sector? Ling's expression remained unchanged, still icy cold. I am just a combat body. Although I can use some technology, I don't know how to develop and improve it. The technology of the Ihan clan is indeed far superior to that of this world, but the technological level of Tianhai City is too low. Compared with us, the gap between you is too large, especially in terms of industrial base. It's like how most modern people use mobile phones and also play with apps. But asking him to help a primitive, bloodthirsty race create a cell phone from scratch is also impossible. If I get the Lunarians to help us, do you think they'll provide us with some technology? Zhang Yi persisted, asking the same question again. The Lunarians were created by the radical Ahen race who went to the moon, and they should have inherited their technology. Over the long course of development, the Lunarians have gained a unique understanding and mastery of technology, which may help solve their current predicament. Ling shook her head slightly. The moon people will not give away technology unconditionally, especially when it comes to your current level of civilization. They are well aware of the gap between us, and will not help you easily. To put it bluntly, the Lunarians respect Ling, the Sword Knight, but it's only out of politeness. But they're not stupid to ask them to hand over their core technology. Even brothers fight when they divide their property, let alone them, who weren't that close to Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi had previously helped them retrieve the spark, and they had already provided them with a large amount of resources and the Moon People's meditation method, so they didn't owe them anything. Zhang Yi fell silent, his inner unease growing stronger. Looks like I was too naive, he muttered to himself. Just as Zhang Yi was deep in thought, Lu Karen suddenly interrupted, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Brother Zhang Yi, I suddenly have an idea. Perhaps we can continue our research on the Ihan clan's black box. Her tone was slightly excited. I remember when we unearthed that black box in the Fremont Underground. It contained a lot of information about the Ihan people's knowledge and culture. Perhaps by solving its mystery, we can discover some secrets about technology. Zhang Yi's eyes lit up, and he immediately stood up. Yes, the black box. It's a huge treasure. He slapped his forehead hard. He had indeed forgotten about this thing. They unearthed an ancient ruin of the Ahenian tribe beneath Fremont and found a black box left behind by an Ahenian man they called the Engineer. After a long period of deciphering, they finally learned about the deeds of the Lunarians. However, the black box contained a vast amount of information and employed extremely advanced technology. Even with Lu Karen's abilities, he only managed to crack less than 1% of it. Before he died, the Engineer put his entire life story into the book. Now imagine you were the last living person in a civilization. Before you died, what would you put in a storage device that can hold a lot of information? It's highly likely that it's about everything related to that civilization. Humanities, science and technology, history. We must let future generations know that such a glorious and brilliant civilization once existed. Zhang Yi thought about it more and felt that there was a chance. Upon hearing the order, Lu Karen immediately ran to retrieve the sealed black box. The box has an ultra-modern texture with a faint glow and is not like metal, but rather as delicate and smooth as black jade. The black box exuded an indescribable aura. Lu Karen carefully placed the box on the table, scratching her head sheepishly. With our current technology, it will take a long time to completely crack it. Zhang Yi turned to look at Ling. Ling had now absorbed a large number of ether fragments and was no different from a normal human. Ling, can you crack this black box? All eyes were on Ling, filled with anticipation and curiosity. Ling glanced silently at the black box, a hint of reminiscence in her eyes. This is the most advanced information storage device we have left behind before we built Tianyu Palace. She reached out and touched the black box that had existed since time immemorial, yet remained perfectly preserved. Soon, a dense stream of information began to emerge from her eyes, emanating a shimmering white light from her fingertips. When it touched the black box, it triggered a chain reaction, causing silver lines to appear as if activating a high-tech circuit board. Instantly, a massive flow of information surged out of the black box, forming a transparent projection screen in midair. The light screen flickered, filled with complex images and data streams, displaying the history, culture, and advanced technological achievements of the Yihan people. Zhang Yi, Lu Karen, Yang Xinxin, and others were all shocked by the scene before them. Lu Karen, in particular, was completely stunned when she saw these things. His mouth was slightly open, as if he was too shocked to speak by the sight before him. After a long while, she finally came to her senses, her eyes darting around, and exclaimed excitedly, This is simply a huge treasure. This is the one piece of the technological world. If we can master all these technological achievements, Tianhai City can definitely become a high-tech civilization that surpasses the Songyuan clan. A gleam of excitement flashed in Zhang Yi's eyes. He knew that everything before him was priceless for the future of Tianhai City, Huashu Kingdom, and even all of humanity. And this priceless treasure now belongs to Zhang Yi. With this, I can transform Tianhai City and even the entire Huashu Kingdom into a super-technological civilization. Once we build an impregnable wall, let's see how long those ancient civilizations can remain arrogant. Seeing Zhang Yi's expression, Ling spoke up at the opportune moment to remind him. Relying on external things is ultimately a crooked path. If you want to truly possess great power, you can only rely on yourself to comprehend the ether and the rules of this world. Don't forget how the Songyuan clan was destroyed. The civilization of the Yihan race has developed to such an extreme that they can influence the operation of the entire material world with their will. Therefore, in their view, so-called science and technology are the wrong path, the shortcut. Although they may temporarily bring great power, they will lead us further and further away from the right path. Chapter 2570, The Yihan Clan Hard Drive 2. Upon hearing this, Zhang Yi simply smiled faintly. This may be an unorthodox method, but I don't care. I just want to become stronger. The right path you speak of is too far away for me. I need to take care of my immediate struggles before I can dream of poetry and distant horizons. What he needs is a sense of security. Ling's eyes were calm, as if she had foreseen Zhang Yi's determination, so she didn't say anything more. In the following period, Zhang Yi, Yang Xinxin, Lu Karen, and others devoted themselves to cracking the technology in the black box. Lu Karen seemed to have found her life's purpose, burying herself in research and gaining new breakthroughs and inspiration every day. Zhang Yi and others coordinated resources from all parties to help accelerate the research process. Standing in the most advanced research lab currently available to humankind, Zhang Yi watched as the secrets of the Yihan clan's black box were slowly being revealed on the enormous projection screen before him. As Lu Karen continued to crack the code, the data stream inside the box surged forth like a raging flood. A wealth of knowledge, history, culture, and technology were presented to them. Although they knew long ago that this information would change the future of Tianhai City and even Huashu Kingdom, everyone was still shocked when it was actually revealed. Lu Karen's eyes lit up, her face full of excitement. This is simply a priceless treasure. If we can fully master these technologies, we will obtain technology that surpasses our current level by tens of thousands of years. As she spoke, her fingers flew across the console, and the screen constantly refreshed with lines of complex formulas, algorithms, and even unknown energy reaction diagrams. These graphics and data may seem complex, but they contain unimaginable power. Yang Xinxin walked to her side, carefully examined the data, and couldn't help but say with a hint of excitement in her voice, "These technologies are indeed powerful enough, especially in the fields of energy applications and material science. Look at these applications of antimatter energy. We can use these technologies to create ultra-efficient weapons and even develop planetary engines." Lu Karen nodded, her excited voice trembling slightly. Yes, these technologies involve extremely efficient energy conversion and storage. We can use these principles to create antimatter bombs, or even build an almost impenetrable energy shield. Energy shield? Zhang Yi was more interested in this thing. He stroked his chin and asked, "How does it compare to the Zhongyuan clan's special energy shield against aliens?" "More powerful, more advanced. It can not only absorb energy released from the outside world with high efficiency, but also transform it into the power inside the system," Lu Karen said succinctly. A burning light suddenly flashed in Zhang Yi's eyes. "You mean it can absorb the energy of external attacks and convert it into energy we can use? Doesn't that make it stronger the more it's attacked?" Lu Karen immediately responded, "That's right. This energy shield can protect our city from any form of attack, and at the same time, it can reverse the energy of enemy attacks. We can use it to enhance firepower and even use antimatter bombs for precision strikes." Of course, she was referring to a theoretical possibility. Given the level of technological civilization of the Ihan race, they are indeed capable of doing all of this. But for Tianhai City today, that's too far away. Being able to achieve even 1/10 of that is more than enough. These technologies far surpass any of our current weapons. Zhang Yi's tone was filled with excitement. If we can master these technologies, Tianhai City's defense capabilities will increase by tens of times, or even hundreds of times. However, just as everyone was immersed in the great hope brought by these new technologies, Lu Karen suddenly showed a trace of worry, her voice low. "However, Brother Zhang Yi, the problem is, we are far from having enough resources to create these technological products." Zhang Yi paused for a moment, then realized something. In the era of the Ahen race, they could control all the resources and development of the entire planet. Furthermore, it will be able to mobilize everything in the material world, that is, resources throughout the universe. They would not have any problem with resource shortages at all. The experimental field created for them by the creator was absolutely abundant in materials. But right now, Zhang Yi and his group obviously don't have such favorable conditions. Lu Karen said helplessly, "Earth's mineral resources are almost entirely controlled by various ancient civilizations, and we have fewer and fewer resources to obtain. The production of these high-tech products involves a large amount of rare metals, energy ores, and advanced materials, and we simply cannot find enough resources on Earth." She shrugged, indicating her helplessness. Although she possesses the ability of void transformation, which allows her to directly alter the molecular structure of matter and create entirely new substances. However, this ability is only good for producing small quantities of rare substances. Mass production is simply impossible, even if you worked her to death. Now, it's like a skilled cook can't cook without rice. We have the cracked technology, but no materials to use. Zhang Yi's mood sank. He stared at the gradually disappearing light screen on the projector, pondering how to solve the problem at hand. Everyone went from being excited and overjoyed at the beginning to looking thoughtful with furrowed brows. At present, although Huashu Kingdom has a lot of resources, they are all used in various fields. Even if all of them were mobilized, it wouldn't be enough. Especially those rare elements, even if you hollow out an entire mountain to smelt them, you can only get a few hundred grams at most in a year. But to build the core of a planetary engine, you need tens of kilograms. Sigh. It's so difficult. Everyone was also unable to create things out of thin air, and was worried. Zhang Yi crossed his arms and pondered for a long time. He couldn't come up with a solution either. Borrowing from someone? Impossible. Robbing? He wouldn't take that risk either. He took a deep breath and turned to look at the deep night sky outside the window. The moonlight shone on his face, gradually clearing his mind. That's right. Why are we so fixated on Earth's resources? We can look to the universe. Upon hearing this, everyone looked up at him. Cosmic resources? This is something that no one has really considered. In 2055, although science and technology are very advanced, manned spaceflight technology is not very advanced. The journey to the moon was made possible with the help of technology from an ancient civilization. Whether it's the Dreamer, the Columbian spaceship, or the Papacy's spaceship, they are all remnants of ancient civilizations. Their technological level is so low that they could barely build an interstellar spaceship, let alone travel through space to mine resources on other planets. But Zhang Yi is different. He is the #1 space-type ability user in 6 generations. As long as he can reach an alien planet and find a resource point, he doesn't need to consider the issue of large-scale excavation. He can just take it directly. Here we end today's chapter. I hope you liked it. Kindly do also subscribe to my gaming channel. I have to find a way to survive. Thanks.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Post-apocalyptic Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises. Thank you.